1, go.
Can you give me a pro tips?
10. What do you mean?
Pro tips.
Pro tips. Pro tips. Pro tips.
Pro tips.
Pro tips. These sets of tips are compact, tangible things you can do as a leader that will help you with building rapport, managing challenging behaviours, and working positively with young people. For building rapport, give respect. Your most powerful tool for building rapport is giving respect. Participants will mirror your conduct. Treat them well, and they will in turn treat you well. A common mistake is demanding respect before giving it. Learn names. Learn about the young people. Take the time to get to know the young people in the program at your first couple of program days. Allow time throughout the day to talk to different young people about their likes and/or interests. Connect to their interests. Find out what they like and ask them lots of questions about that thing. Assess understanding. Try to work out how well a participant understands the activities and/or tasks for the day by asking questions. What are they finding easy? What do they find difficult? Motivate. Look for ways to motivate the young person to engage. Be attentive. Being attentive to the young people helps us identify inappropriate behaviours early and then address them before they become safety issues. Be genuine. Act in a way that is actually true to you.
Managing challenging behaviour. Set expectations early. Expect appropriate standards of behaviour from the participants. Set clear boundaries and expectations at the start. Although we show the participants that we are interested and care about them, we show them that we won't tolerate inappropriate behaviour. Challenging behaviour not managed appropriately can derail the entire program and the nurturing positive environment we've worked hard to create. Don't bluff. Give warnings and be prepared to follow through. Don't give empty threats. We set out processes and follow through when required, and this also makes us trustworthy. Wait and listen. If a young person is struggling with their emotions, wait and listen. As we've previously discussed, sometimes the best response with a dysregulated young person is to not talk at all. Address it one-on-one. Once emotions have subsided and behaviours need to be addressed, a one-on-one conversation, while still within line of sight of the group, is better than in front of the whole group. No need to let the whole group know or sternly say, "I'll deal with you later." That can induce shame and make the resolution process a lot more difficult. Use support. Volunteers are not required to deal with serious issues alone. Use the supports around you. Tag in another leader or a staff member when you feel yourself getting frustrated. Taking on all the load yourself is the fastest way to burnout. That's the reason we don't just have 1 to 2 leaders on a day. We've got a team. When in doubt, or if you are feeling unsure or overwhelmed, speak to a senior leader or staff member.
I realize this kind of sounds like an airline safety video.
Yeah.
Positive ways of working. Keep instructions clear. Be clear and use simple language when explaining rules, goals, or safety. Preempt your challenges. Use demonstrations and visual aids when you can. Brief participants in the activity area if possible. Focus on the positives. Favour encouraging and praising those doing the right thing over condemning those doing the wrong thing. Keep a positive outlook by speaking about the young people in a positive light. This can often involve separating the person from the behaviour. They're not a bad or a naughty child. Their behaviour might not be acceptable and needs addressing, but the behaviour is not what defines them. Be empathetic. Let the young people know that it's okay to make a mistake. It's all part of life. Use your environment. Have your environment work for you and not against you. Some environmental factors to consider are potential distractions and potential hazards or safety concerns. Keep participants engaged. Keeping participants productive is one of the most effective ways at minimizing behavioral challenges. Keep participants busy. Steer distracted group members back to the task at hand. Don't unnecessarily stop play or activity. When appropriate, join in, and give advice to help overcome hiccups while the game is still running to keep play flowing. And finally, Be realistic. Recognize that there are limits to how quickly you can improve as a leader. Be patient with yourself and keep trying. The best thing you can do is keep practicing. With practice comes experience, competence, and confidence. Can you give me a do's and don'ts?
Do's, don'ts. Do's and don'ts. For talking when the facilitator is trying to give instructions. Do's, stop and wait. Look at the source of the chatter. They will realize it's gone quiet and stop. Address them by name without anger or aggression. Hey Tyler, just listening up here please. People generally don't want to be called out by name, so that'll deter others from talking. But you've still done this process with dignity. Ask the other leaders to intersperse themselves amongst the group. And if any young people start chatting to each other, they can give them a nudge and say, hey, let's make sure we're listening to Tom. This is really important. If someone keeps interrupting with questions, say, just 1 sec. Well, I'll answer any questions at the end. If talking continues after addressing it several times, move them away from whoever they're talking to. The don'ts. Don't keep talking to push through. It can send the wrong message. It sends the message that it's okay. Don't talk louder. If you talk louder, they might start talking louder. And if you keep going, you'll just strain your voice. Don't shame or yell or shout. It's okay to address by name, but we don't want to humiliate or shame. It can affect their relationships with their peers or harm the relationships they have with you. It can be very difficult to recover from shame and forgive someone who has shamed you. Can I do the thing?
Yeah, it's like clean.
Clean.
That's it. You had your chance.
Dang it. There's no way that would have even been picked up in the mic. Whatever. It was so weak. John, can you push me to it? Can you push me to it?
Nikki, take 1.
Disrupting the activity, for example, throwing things. Do's. Address the behaviour early. Ask them kindly to stop. Explain why you've asked them to stop, explaining the danger or the risk. For example, if it hits someone, it could damage their eye. Redirect the behaviour/energy. Encourage another activity. For example, hey, why don't we do something? Remove access to unnecessary resources. Confiscate items. If the reason they're disrupting is because they're bored or they don't want to do this particular activity, see if there are ways you can assist them to engage. Don'ts. Don't snatch things away if possible. Don't shame and don't ignore the behaviour.
Outburst. For example, yelling. Do's. Take them out of the immediate environment while still maintaining line of sight. Remain calm. Give them time to cool down. Ask them open questions and give them the time to respond. Be empathetic. Relate to them, saying things like, yeah, that would make me frustrated too. Explain the effect their behaviour has. For example, yeah, I know it can be frustrating, but you can really hurt people's feelings when you yell at them. What if we try giving positive encouragement to our team? Suggest or teach coping strategies. Don'ts. Don't try to match their energy. Don't try to fight fire with fire. Don't overwhelm the individual with too many people or leaders. It can make it really feel like we're getting up on them. 2 is usually sufficient.
Fight between the young people. The do's. Break it up. Separate the individuals. Use physical intervention if required to prevent physical harm. Give space for both to cool off. Ask each what happened. Fully listen to their side of the story. Give them the time to tell you what happened. Try to get to the truth. Restate expectations. Give opportunity for resolution. For example, try to get both parties to make amends and apologize where appropriate. Call parents and send the young people home if necessary. Diffuse as quickly and efficiently as possible. Explain the consequences of their behavior. If you had come to me first, I could have helped you sort it out and would have dealt with it. But because you took it into your own hands, now you're both sitting out. Don'ts. Don't make a big deal about it to the rest of the group.
Disengaging from an activity, including running off for attention. Do's. Encourage. Give them an open invitation. Say something like, anytime you'd like to jump in, you're more than welcome to join us. Many times the young person will join in on their own after spending some time watching the group from afar having fun. Make the expectation clear that they still need to be in the vicinity of the group. They can't run off. Let them be if they're not harming anyone and not disrupting the activity. Let them know, I'm just over here if you need me. More often than not, the young people want to be there, but they may just not want to participate in that one particular activity. Don't force them to do an activity they don't want to do. Don't create an alternative activity that becomes a distraction from the primary activity. You really don't want others tapping out as well.
Where is that written? Where is that in the script?
I added it.
Right, you finished really well, and then you just kept talking and just made a jumble of it. Go from don'ts.
Okay. I really liked my addition.